Let's do some.
Let's have some
stuff.
fun.
Yeah. All right. So you a while back did a tribute to Japan record.
Yes. A J-pop covers album, and then a Gundam album.
I'm going to ask you some questions.
Okay.
About that.
All right.
But so what's your connection to Japan?
Well, my first album that was actually released in Japan and parts of Europe, including the United Kingdom, before it came out in the U.S., which was interesting. It was just sort of a strategy that the record label devised, and I went along with it. I think it worked very well. And Japan was just very passionate and responded very well right off the bat. So we ended up playing a lot of shows there and spending a lot of time there. And the gentleman who was in charge of my project at the label, who worked with me at the label, he ended up moving up and up in the company in Universal Japan until he's basically the president of the international division. So he would present opportunities and come up with ideas, and he had the idea of, why don't you record a covers album, which I guess is not uncommon. It's some kind of a popular thing to do in Japan, and he thought I should do one. And it was, especially the Gundam album, both those projects were some of the most challenging and yet rewarding musical experiences. Definitely made me a better musician, having to learn all those parts. And it's very strange music in a good way. So I'm glad that you're familiar with it.
Yeah, were you a fan of Gundam?
Yes.
Or?
Well, and again, this gentleman Kimmy, who is my Japanese record label guy, he was a huge Gundam fan. I mean, obsessed, and he was the one who introduced me to it. I had seen it, and I'd been familiar with it, I guess through Bandai in the U.S. But he would even pull over and stop whatever we were doing if he saw a new Gundam toy that he didn't have, and would just constantly buying Gundam stuff. And he would try to explain to me and get me the series and DVDs. And then after the J-pop album, and there's one Gundam song on there, I Senshi, which is probably one of my favorite songs of all time at this point. The Gundam people really liked that, and they suggested for the 30th anniversary, what if you did a whole album of Gundam? And you know, I didn't even listen to all the songs. I was so overwhelmed. I was afraid if I listened to all the songs that I had to do before starting, I would have just said, I'm not going to be able to do this. So I just took it one song at a time. And yeah, I mean, it was as hard as anything I've ever done. I really wanted to pay proper tribute to those songs, not change them too much. Really get the right string arrangements and the right brass arrangements and the right drum fills and make it as accurate as possible while certainly singing it in my voice and translating the lyrics the way that I chose to in English.
I was very impressed with how literal and still how well it still worked with the song, the translations you did. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Do you speak Japanese?
Enough to know you got most of it right.
Okay, well, thank you. I definitely had help. So I mean, I had a translator. She would give me a very literal translation of the song, and then I would try to, using that, make rhymes and have it fit the phrasing. It was difficult at times, and even there were times when I said, this feels really awkward, but then I kind of fell in love with it as I recorded it and sang it over and over again. Even if it felt convoluted, it ended up becoming really appealing.
Doing things like adding extra syllables to word children because
yes, that's a good example. Star children, fly high, sky high, yeah. And there was little cool things that also that there would be in the original song, but I would also think like, oh, I wish it did this. Like in that one of my favorite parts is the string part that goes, but that's not in the original, so I tried to be very respectful, yet embellish and try to make it even more over the top, I guess.
When I was in high school, I was a huge Gundam fan, and one Christmas we got the whole, it was an album called Gundam Singles Originals.
Oh, yeah.
And it was basically all the songs you did, plus a few from a couple other shows, and it's always been, I always enjoy this. It's just a tremendous album, so it's always very
fun. On me, yeah, I completely agree. And so you're very familiar with the original recordings.
Yeah.
That's great, because I try to tell people, sometimes people that weren't familiar would hear my versions and have sort of understandable comments, but I said, just if you could hear the original, you'll see how true this is to, as much as possible, to the way they sounded and recorded and all that. It's very strange music.
When you,
in a good way.
When you recorded that, did you know that Richie Kotzen from Poison had done a similar thing previously?
Yes. I listened to some of his versions, and I noticed he changed things quite a bit.
Yeah.
Especially on songs like I Sent You, where he even changed the chord changes in the melody. Because he went, but that's not how it goes. It goes, and I just, I have a lot of respect for him, but what's the point of changing something if it's so good already? So I tried to not change and just add to. But again, he's a tremendous. I was very envious of how well he's able to sing, or whoever sang in his version. I don't remember the guy, but they got a very good singer.
Yeah.
And I don't quite have that gifted, talented voice, but I did the best I could.
You don't have a favorite mobile suit, do you?
I guess the main guy, the blue.
The Gundam?
Yeah, the main guy.
Is it because you both all wear white?
Maybe so. Did you see the full-size Gundam they built?
Yeah.
I really wish I could have seen that in person. I wasn't there at the right time, but the people, I did have friends that went and saw it, and they said it was almost upsetting. And it was so overwhelming and so surreal, especially when it would move a little bit, that they said it was almost like frightening. So any kind of giant robot has a place in my heart.
So along with doing music and whatnot, you also do obviously the Destroy, Build, Destroy, and apparently quite a few more artistic ventures and whatnot. Like,
I try to do as many different things as I can, but mainly whatever just comes to me. I've been very lucky to have opportunities presented to me. So I used to think that my life was more based on, I have an idea, I want to do this. And I guess it was a little bit like that, but now I feel like the idea is just being alive and trying to have the most exciting adventures possible through this industry of entertainment. And now it just feels like I'm on this path that I don't even have control over, in a good way. Like there's forces leading me to do whatever it is that I'm meant to do, and all I have to do is show up and do it the best I can. And it's been a learning process figuring that out. But it's nice to not be in control anymore and realize that I probably never really was.
cool. So obviously you're way into the party scene,
Yes.
or whatnot, or party songs and all that.
Partying in general is my life.
If we're throwing a party and we're all trying to get a party together and whatnot,
Of course.
what 5 things do you think is critical for every party that you cannot party without, or that you would choose to party with at all
Well, that's
opportunities?
a very good point. Oh, being there, I think, is the first and foremost most important thing. It's impossible to party if you don't have one. Have a party, and you have to go to it in order to be there. But you can party just by yourself. That counts. I do recommend having other people there in addition to yourself, but you being there is definitely the most important thing. Then I would say music. To me, that is the most energizing phenomenon that really exists in this world. Then some kind of refreshments, whether it's snacks or drinks or whatever. Something, these elemental feelings with food and drink are very primal. And I think that the best parties put you in touch with a very primal kind of pleasure. And let's see, 4, it'd be nice to have some laughs, some smiles, be cheered up, be in a cheerful state. So I think grinning, chuckling, giggling, chortling, obviously, waltzing around and dancing, whatever gives you that good cheerful feeling. And then 5, I'd say some kind of mystery, some kind of unpredictable element. Maybe leave one aspect to the party totally open to chance, and don't have that 5th thing be too specific.
Cool. Sounds like some quality party.
I think it could be fun. We're going to do it tonight. I mean, and this counts as partying too.
Oh, that's fun.
I am as well. So thank you for partying with me.
All right. Do you want to roughhouse?
What, like monkey business?
Yeah, like just wrestle around a little, do some roughhousing.
Do I like to or do I want to right now?
Do you want to right now?
Okay.
Are we doing this?
Well,
It's got awkward fast.
I don't want to hurt you.
Well, I don't want to hurt you.
I don't want to be hurt.
Watch the
Alright, so
So
table.
let's just be real.
All right.
Like,
Well, let's just have a slap fight.
okay. This is roughhousing?
It's as well. I mean, we might slap each other. Someone could get slapped.
Okay.
All right.
That was good. Well done.
And along with party, you can have no party without party favors. So we got you some very fun
Wow.
party favors.
Oh, this is awesome.
It's our gift to you
Thank
for
you very
doing
much.
an interview with us.
This is great vibe. Thank you very, very much. Oh, wow.
Yeah. Well, we figured we couldn't find any cake or ice cream, so
Ooh.
these donuts.
These are great. My mom would always have something like this in her purse whenever we were going on long drives or at restaurants. And I'd say, Mom, what do you have for me to play? And she would pull out one of these and I would occupy myself. So this is good to keep me busy and entertained. And of course, one of the greatest things of all time. There we go. Well, you know, it takes some skill.
It's a precise science. It's
You might need some oil on it.
Yeah.
Oiled up. And then what's this, matches?
Yeah.
Party matches,
Party
okay.
matches.
From the party sorts. Well, this
Yeah.
is very good. And this is a t-shirt, much like the one you're wearing?
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank
Yeah.
you very much. And it's the right color for me as well, so.
Yeah. Well, we were thinking about getting a bright blue one to change things up, but why mess with success?
Now, what's
It's
this?
an activity sheet.
Oh, it's games?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You
So
can do
more
a maze and
on
have
the
fun.
airplane or on the toilet or something.
Yeah.
And then, what's it, a football? A sticker?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. This is very kind, very thoughtful, and just the kind of stuff I really like. Oh, and a keychain. And what is this, a rugby ball?
I think it's supposed to be a football.
It could go as either one,
Yeah.
sort of kill two birds with one stone. Two sports with one ball. Well, thank you very much for these very awesome gifts.
Yeah. Thank you for indulging us and all that, and we're looking forward to the show tonight. And
Thank you. Thank you for having me on your program, and I'd like to come back again.
cool. Yeah, that's.
All right.